Hey guys, what is up and how are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time stopping by, you are absolutely welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, I'm thrilled to have you back once again on my channel. So my name is Onyeka and I'm a Nigerian YouTuber based in London, Ontario, Canada. I basically make videos documenting my life experiences here as a Nigerian immigrant. And I also do share some lifestyle content as well. So please feel free to check out my previous content, as I'm sure that you must find something worth interesting, okay? And you might just decide to stick around. So speaking of sticking around, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and you can do so by clicking on the subscribe button down below. And when you do subscribe, do not forget to turn on the bell notification so that you can get notified whenever I post a video and you will not miss any of my content at all. So today's video has been sort of like a highly requested and a video that I should have put out a long time ago. Honestly, I don't know why I've been putting it off, but so for the longest time, people have always been asking me what I do. For some reason, I never just said exactly what I did. So today, in this video, I'm going to be sharing exactly what I do as a professional and how I got to this point, okay? So if you're interested in knowing about my profession, I'm sure you can tell from the title or thumbnail. But anyways, stick around and don't go anywhere. So guys, like I said earlier, for the longest times you guys have been on my butt asking me what I do for a living, stuff like that. I'm always like very superficial when I talk about it. Like I just give surface, answers like, oh, I'm in public health here. I am in public health, but I never just said my exact job role. Actually guys, I am a nurse in Canada. I have been a nurse for almost 1 year now. I just never spoke about it. I don't know why. I don't know. But I feel like this video is due. It has been due for a very long time. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm finally able to film this video today for you guys. So it's gonna be like a story time, chit chat. Yeah, you get the gist. So where do I begin? So backstory, I'm actually a Nigerian trained pharmacist. I came to Canada in 2018 for my master's in public health. I graduated in 2019, so just have that background knowledge, okay? So I have my iPad here so I don't forget like the timelines of everything because it's been a while and I might forget. So the journey to becoming a nurse started, I think I would say in 2019, August, or yeah, shortly before I graduated from my master's. So I graduated in October of that year, 2019. There was a particular day in August. I was in Toronto with a friend who is also a nurse, and she was driving me to the airport. I was going back to Vancouver. So I schooled in London, Ontario, which is where I live right now. But I sort of moved to Vancouver for my practicum and I stayed there for a while before coming back to London. It's all going to make sense. Just stick with me, okay? Summer of 2019, August to be exact, I was with a friend and she was taking me to the airport. I was going back to Vancouver because I had just done like my final capstone presentation in school. So I was going back. Because I already moved there, like I said earlier. I suck at storytelling. So while we're in the car, I was like, I just wish I could, be a nurse. I don't know where that even came from, but yeah, I just wanted to be a nurse. And for some reason, I had this idea that, a public health degree really goes hand in hand with like a licensed profession. And since I was a pharmacist, I was like, trying to become a Canadian pharmacist was like a process that I was not mentally ready for. I'm still not mentally ready for it. I don't know if I will ever go back to it, but yeah, so back to what I was saying. I just blotted it. I was like, I wish I could, become a nurse like you. She was like, you can actually do it. Like they're actually compressed programs that you can do and become a nurse in such a short time. So right there in the car, I looked it up and I saw that my school, which was the University of Western Ontario, actually carried that course. Like they were offering this compressed time frame nursing program. It's called the CTF nursing, and I saw it. I was like, oh wow, and it's just for 19 months. So I read the requirements for the program. I know you needed to have like some prerequisite courses. You need to write one exam called CASPA test, and you need to have like an average of a B or 70, and then some few other things. But yeah, so I looked it up and I was like, wow, not a bad idea. So while I was on my way to Vancouver on the plane, I actually thought about it. I was like, okay. So I did some more research and I looked at other schools offering the program. And I saw that my alma mater offered the shortest program in the country. So others were like 2.5 years, 3 years. And a full BSc nursing program was actually 4 years. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And shortly after, my parents visited for my graduation. So I talked to them about it. And they're like, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Because I was like, hey, it's gonna be. They were like, it's not a bad idea. Like, you can actually do it if you want. I was like, okay. But at that time, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to become a nurse, because I was like, this idea just came overnight too. So I really don't want to jump into something that I might not be sure of. So I was like, okay, if that's the case, I was going to apply to only one school. And if I get in, it's the Lord's doing. And if I don't get in, it wasn't meant to be. So I only applied to my alma mater, which was Western. And that was the only school I was familiar with. So I applied October of that year. And the crazy thing is, it was almost as if everything was divinely orchestrated, because they needed you as an applicant to have some prerequisite courses like anatomy, statistics, physiology, and I think those 3 courses: anatomy, physiology, and statistics. So for statistics, I had just completed it in my master's, so I already had that. Then anatomy and physiology, I already did that in my undergrad in Nigeria, and they said these courses have to be within a 7-year time frame. And at that time, I think I did them in 2012 or 13, thereabouts. So it was like 7 years was almost like elapsing. So I was like, just at the nick of time. So I basically had all the prerequisites. So I put in an application in October. After putting in the application, I got my work permit, I got a job in Vancouver, but I wasn't satisfied with what I was doing. And then in February, they got back to me saying that I needed to take the CASPA test, which was one weird aptitude test like that. It's like a situational test, like they will paint out a scenario and say, what would you do? There's no right or wrong answer, but I did the test. That was during the pandemic, and I was still working. During that time, I also put in my application for my PR. So mind you, when I applied for this program, I did it in faith, knowing that, okay, I will become a PR by the time school is set to resume. And I was like, if I don't get my PR, then I'll just, not do it, because it's going to be too expensive. I applied for my PR December of 2019, and then I got it in June, second week of June 2020. That was like 6 months. The first week of June, I got a mail from the school saying that I didn't get into the program, but I was put on a wait list. I was like, okay. And at that time, obviously, I couldn't afford the program. So I was like, I don't mind being on the wait list. I don't even care anymore. I told myself that if I didn't get into the nursing program, then I'll just do, the pharmacy conversion program, which I was not looking forward to doing. But So the first week of June, I got put on the wait list. And then second week of June, I got my PR. And then that second week, I think like 3 days after getting my PR, I heard back from the school saying that they could offer me a spot in the program. And I was like, God, thank you for coming through for me. So that meant that I had to go back to London. So now you guys know why I left Vancouver. So if you're an OG on this channel, I started my YouTube channel living in Vancouver. So this was the major reason why I left Vancouver. I just never said why I left. I just said work purposes. But it didn't work, guys. I'm sorry I lied. It was school. So June of that year, I had to now, rearrange my priorities. I had to start thinking of moving back, like quitting my job, going to get accommodation back in London, everything. Now, it was overwhelming at first, but I just took it in good faith. So I remember when it was about time to resume, the tuition came on my dashboard. I had not yet sent my PR status to the school, so they treated me like an international student. When I saw my first tuition for the first, I think 2 or 3 terms, for the first 3 terms, guys, I saw 45,000. That was like the first 3 terms or something, and there are 5 terms in this program, so just do the math, okay? I was like, yo, So I shoot them that email saying that the girl is not a permanent resident, so change that thing. So eventually, when they changed my tuition, everything came down to like 14,000 for the entire program. But that first year, I think I saw like 7,000 or something. Yeah, see the difference. 7,000, 45,000, okay? So August, I quit my job in Vancouver, and September came, I got on a flight and I moved back to London. So when I got to London, the amazing thing was all of the classes were offered online, and that made me so happy because honestly, I don't even care about going to class. I know some of you like going to class, but this girl right here, I don't like it. So the classes were offered online, and we only had to go into like lab simulations twice a week. I didn't even feel like I went to school full time, like to even get a bachelor's degree all over again. So September, I just tried to readjust to being a student once again. I hated it, but it was easier because it was online. And for me, I don't know about you, but me, I'm one of those students that if you see me at first, you think I'm very unserious because I have like only one note that I'm going to use. I barely had any textbooks. I saw my classmates buying textbook up and down. I just didn't have like study materials because for me, I think once I listen and write a few things down, that's it for me. But in this nursing program, I didn't even have to write anything down. I just needed to listen to the class because everything was like pre-recorded. So, and I never even listened to it at normal speed. I listened to my lectures in times 2 speed, so it was like fast forwarded. That's how I listened to it. So eventually, when I even got to hear like the professors talking normally, I'm like, why are you sounding so slow? Because I got used to listening to things in times 2 speed. I also forgot to talk about the structure of the program. So the program was 19 months. It's like 5 terms with no breaks. We only got to August of 2021, like 1 month. We only got 1 month break for the entire program. It was 19 months. It's less than 2 years, and I really liked the pace of it. And mind you, the program was way easier than my master's program. Maybe because it was a bachelor's program, so less was expected of us. And yeah, and I was the only Black student in my class. Yeah, and I don't think we had international students because it was so expensive. So if you're from outside Canada, you must be rich. So September to December was 1 term. I wrote my exams. It was good. January to April was another term. It was good. May to August was another term. No, May to July was another term, which was where we had our first clinicals. So my first clinical, I was posted to medicine, guys. On my first day of my clinical, I was like, if this is nursing, I don't want it. Like, this is not for me. This is not for me. If you're a nurse and you're watching this video, you understand. Or if you've worked in the medicine floor in a hospital, you understand. See, that day I was like, is this it? Because my mom was also a nurse. So I called her that day in the toilet. I was like, is this what you usually do? She was laughing. She was like, of course. You thought it was child's play? Guys, the smell. Like, we had a patient that had like an ostomy bag. Yo. I feel like I started my clinical placement in the worst place ever. So like, you can only get better from wherever that place was. Medicine, terrible. So I hated my placement because I don't know, I couldn't stomach everything. I thought I like gross stuff, but no. Like, and I kept looking at the nurses there every day, like, how do you guys do this thing? Like, how do you wake up and you come to work happy, like doing this, working in this floor? See, on that floor, you will learn how to nurse a patient. You know what it means to nurse somebody? You know when someone is dead weight? Like, hey, let me not even go too much detail, but you will learn how to nurse a patient. Like, it is very messy. See, kudos to all the nurses working in some kind of field because it wasn't for me. I just knew, like, no, I can't do it. So I just struggled for 6 weeks. I stomached it for 6 weeks and I did it. Okay, so after 6 weeks I went to Nigeria. That was August of 2021 and I had a blast. And then I came back in September and I started school again, and this time I was posted to surgery. Like, it was the same thing. So I was posted to surgery and it was in a different town. It was in Tilsonburg. If you're familiar with Ontario, you might know this small town. So I was going there, like, it was terrible. It was like 45 minutes away from home. Still the same. I'm not going to go into much detail, but the final term, which was in January, was all practicum. There were no classes. We had to do our practicum in our final term, and there were different types of application. There was like the application-based practicum, and the ones that they will offer you. I was like, I'm not taking my chance for you guys to offer me rubbish placement again, and I'll be stuck with that place for 4 months every day because it's going to be like a 9 to 5. I said I'm not taking my chances, and I saw there was a public health placement with the health unit in London. And you know what's funny? While I did my master's in public health, the public health unit in London was like the most sought after practicum placement. I didn't even bother applying because I didn't think I could get it, so I just didn't apply because I thought, they're better candidates than me, so I just didn't apply. So I went to Vancouver. When I saw that there was a placement for the nursing practicum, at that same public health unit, I put in an application. I put in all my public health experience, put in everything, my pharmacy experience. So I felt like I was even overqualified for that role. And they got back to me immediately. And I didn't even interview, they just offered me the position. I was like, look at God. Like, because 2 years ago, I didn't think I was good enough, or I didn't think I was going to be selected, but look at me 2 years later. Come January, I started my practicum. It was like a 9 to 5 thing, but see, God is still coming through for me. Just hold on. So, because now am I going out? So my first day in January 2022. Yes, January of 2022. My first day, I dressed up. It was snowing like crazy. I went to the office. They just gave me a laptop. Go home and work. Like, it was a work from home situation. I was like, oh God, thank you. I was so happy because when my classmates were doing 12-hour shifts, your girl was just chilling at home. You know, I was doing home visits. So I worked in the child and mother baby unit, something like that. I can't really remember. But yeah, I was basically like educating new moms how to breastfeed and how to care for their baby and stuff like that. And sometimes I had to do home visits. You see, even some of the home visits I had to do was in my apartment building at that time. So all I had to do was just wear my coat and go downstairs and meet the client. See, when God wants to come through for you, he will come through. Yeah, so it was such a stress-free program for me. And then April, I was done. And then I wrote my NCLEX in May. The NCLEX is like the nursing board exams in May. So I started studying for my NCLEX, which is another video I'm going to talk about. So I studied for my NCLEX in April, and then I wrote my exam in May, and I passed it in one sitting. And guys, if you're in Canada, you will hear so much about this exam that I thought it was the hardest thing in life. But the way your girl wrote it, I was like, is this the exam? And I passed it in one sitting without any hassle. And that same week, I started working. Like, I got my first job. Yeah, so I've been working as a nurse since then. Right now, I work as a mental health nurse. I work with children and adolescents. I also do part-time local travel nursing when I'm off. So I'm always working, guys. I am always working. And my shifts are 12-hour shifts, so it's not funny. So I've been working since like May, like as a nurse since May of 2022 up until now. I'm filming this video in February of 2023. So you can call me Farm Nurse Onyeka, okay? Yeah, so if you guys have questions, let me know in the comment section. If you want me to film more nursing videos, let me know, because I feel like that's a new field I want to go into, like talking about the nursing experience in Canada. I feel like that's a new niche that I'm looking at. Not like I'm going to stop doing my lifestyle videos, but I'll just be making nursing videos as well. Okay, so let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I mean, more specific with exactly what you want to see. Okay, and I will do my best to, you know, create such content. And if you have questions, do not forget to leave it in the comment section down below. And I also forgot to add that my graduation was in June of 2020, June of last year, but I didn't attend. I was working. I was like, I've already done all this ceremony before. There's no need to be doing all this. I've already snapped picture, work gown. I didn't even know I was working that day. But yeah, but I took my graduation pictures in October of 2021, and I love them so much. I'm going to use that as a thumbnail. Yeah, guys, I hope you did enjoy this video. So this is what I do. I'm a nurse in Canada. So now you know what I do. I'm a mental health nurse in London, Ontario, Canada. And yeah, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, guys. Please share this video with your friends and family, okay? So thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care and bye.